Okay, family. Hey. So yesterday we started going over the 10 commandments and we left off with, God saying don't misuse his name, right? Don't use his name in vain. It's kind of like telling somebody you love them and you don't really mean it, right? When to the point that we say it so much that most people nowadays don't believe the person when they say they love them. They are like second guessing it, wondering is it real, because people just say it so much just to get what they want versus really feeling that way about a person. So God is just like, when you use my name in vain, when you use my name with no purpose, you're like devaluing his name, his power, right? And so the next law after that is observe the Sabbath, okay? God mentions the Sabbath in Genesis, Exodus, Deuteronomy, Leviticus. He might even mention it in Numbers. He mentioned it in Isaiah. Like, the Sabbath is very important, like very, very, very important to him, right? When somebody keeps repeating something, that means what? It's very important to them. And so when people say Jesus is God in the flesh, right? I look at, because I've been studying God's characteristics, because we can't see what he looks like, right? We're not able to see what he looked like, so we have to study his characteristics, right? That's how we are able to know who God is, right? And that's why he said at the first commandment to know who he is. And that's why he tells us so much to seek him, right? And so by observing God's characteristics and knowing how important the Sabbath is, right? That he even go as far as to say, don't go your own way on the Sabbath. Don't just, say frivolous words on the Sabbath, right? It's like, for God to feel this strongly about this and to say all of that, and then to turn around and to come into the into the world and be in flesh and totally go against that, like totally break the law, when God don't even break his own laws, right? God said he has been observing the Sabbath in heaven a long time before he gave it to man, right? So if he been observing the Sabbath that long, right, and then he even observed the Sabbath in the wilderness with Israel, he gave them plenty of food the day before, because he said he wasn't doing any miracles on the Sabbath. He wasn't going to be providing them with food. Why would he come in the flesh and do miracles on the Sabbath? Why would he come in the flesh and not provide food for his men the day before so that they wouldn't be breaking the law picking food? I hear it all the time that if God did it before, he can do it again, right? God is the same God that he was before that he is today, right? So if he's the same God, why would his characteristics change? Why something that's so important to him that he's mentioned several times, he would all of a sudden break that that thing that was so important to him, that law that was so important to him. That just seems out of character. And why I don't believe Jesus is God in the flesh, right? But we just gonna keep going. And the next one is honor your parents, like respect them, but don't be a slave to them, right? Don't let them control your life. You can show somebody respect without allowing them to control your life and everything you have to do, right? I know how that feels when you're trying to go on your own journey, but you can't because you have people telling you that you shouldn't do it, that you should do this, and blah, blah, blah. God has said you should respect your elders. You should respect your parents, right? But your journey is your journey. And you can't live that journey if you're allowing people to hold you back, even your parents, right? So you respect them, but you don't let them control you and make you a slave to, what they feel or how they feel you should live your life. It's about how God wants you to live your life, right? The next law, don't commit murder. Don't be killing innocent people, right? No adultery. No side chicks, right? No messing with married people, right? I don't know what it is, but I get hit on so much by married men. And it's very discouraging because it's like I want to get married, but the amount of married men that I get hit on by, it'd be like, it makes me think, why do people get married if they still gonna be sleeping around and messing with other people? You might as well just stay single. But to each his own, right? And then he said no stealing, right? No false testimony, which means don't be lying on nobody, right? You don't want nobody lying on you, right? So don't be lying on nobody else, right? And then no covenant your neighbor, right? Or his things, his family. And I looked up what covenant means, and it means to yearn, to want, or to have, right? When you like, oh, I just want that person's car, like to the point it's like you're obsessing over it, right? Or I want that person's house so bad that you starting to become obsessive. You're just like watching, studying these people, like, to an obsessive person. I guess it's like it's okay to admire somebody and to be like, I like how they run their house and blah 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 blah. But when you start being like, nah, I won't I ain't gonna go out and get my own, right? I want what you got and I'm gonna take what you got, right? God is like, nah, don't do that. Don't be going and trying to take somebody's wife, because it says their spouse, their land, their home, their animals. Well, this is back in the day when people had animals. But, anything that is not of yours, right? So these 10 commandments is basically, it's like when they say treat people how you want to be treated. It's just all about respecting God and who he is and what he's done for us, right? Respecting ourselves and the people around us. That's what I get when I read the 10 commandments, is learning how to respect everyone around you, right? So, on to the next. Good night.